When you submit your map images to Drone Deploy, it asks you right here what the map type is. I chose terrain for my first one. This test I chose structures to see if that makes any difference. And right now I'm 116 images into the upload. So we'll see what that does after that finishes. Okay, I just got an email that my second map rendering is finished. I'm excited. Let's go see what happened. All right. Wow, that's pretty cool. First off, oops. We'll go in and look at this real quick. Just as I thought about my map, I wasn't over the road, so I didn't get much of the road here at all. And sure, my area of mapping might have been north to south, and the road doesn't quite run north to south, so there's a little stuff missing here. Other than that, let's turn this off. This is actually the Google map, the most recent Google map, by the way. And this was probably back during the summer because the trees sure don't look like that now. And all of these trees right here are gone, and my landlord is building a new home there for him and his wife. So we'll look at that again. Where's my opacity? Dink. So that's what it looks like now, all brown. A lot of the green is gone, and it'll just continue to get worse over the winter. But if I take this little button and click it and unclick it, we can see some things. Let's look at the bottom right here of my map data and Google map data overlaid. And what we're going to see here is that this building of my landlord's, this part of his asphalted area around his driveway, and this little holding pond here, and all of this area that didn't render in that other program, the Microsoft, what was that? Image Composite Editor, failed to render stuff right in this area. But it looks like my photos are good. It's just software. So Microsoft Composite Editor, good for a quick 5-minute look at what you're doing to see if you got what you need to submit. This seems to do a lot better. So let's look right here. We'll go to Google Map, My Map, Google Map, My Map. There is a little offset in this building, you can see. The satellite that took the Google Map image might not be directly overhead and have a 90 degrees straight down, and that might be what's going on there. Let's look here and see what this area looks like. The only difference I really see is it is a little bit offset, and the trees are brown instead of green. But the two trees are still there. Here and here are the trees. And here are those trees in my view. Top of the lake in this little area here. Why don't we zoom in on this and quit straining. Oh, yep, that offset still applies. Got a little break in the trees here. Yeah, that's reflected in my data. The trees are covering here. In my data, of course, because the leaves are off, you can see a little bit more of what's under those trees when the leaves aren't on it. And a little grill or something there. I'm not sure what that is. It appears in both maps. Something a little dark over here. Not sure what it is. I'll do this exploration later. But again, look at the pond area here. That looks much the same. Trees over in here, again, it's a difference of leaves versus, oops, There it is. Leaves versus no leaves. But I think that's still pretty darn good. So I don't know why this data falls out in the Microsoft program but doesn't in this one. I'm happy. It looks like it proves my pictures are up to snuff. Let's also look right in here real quick. Before the house, garage, carport. Just can see them now. That's about the only difference. Everything is still pretty much the same. I think my picture perhaps has more resolution. Let's see what happens. There begins a little breakup on mine. Oops, on theirs. Mine still seems to be pretty good. Yeah, my resolution's better than Google Earth. I'll see that there's a lot to say about that. This isn't Google Earth Pro. But yeah, overall, hard to tell on the roof because of the color. But overall, yeah, my resolution is much better. Like just to be expected. Let's look up in this area real quick. There we go. Notice in my image that building, the workshop next to the new house, is square this time instead of non-square. So my pictures are good. That software caused problems. The first software I tried caused problems. Matter of fact, I think my pictures are very good. I think that guy right there needs a shave. Anyway, of course, the buildings weren't there before. That was just a field back in the summer or whenever the date of this Google Earth image is. So I can't really tell a whole lot of difference. Just the fact that the trees it's autumn now, and the others from summer. Other than that, this area, as you can see, has changed drastically. Oops. Oh, what's going on? That don't quite look right. This tree isn't right in my data, but then when I look at it, that tree has been completely removed. The first thing that was done was a septic tank was put in here, and this whole place was dug up for the leaching field for the septic tank. But anyway, I like that. I can tell a lot about this property from that. Map tools. Calibrating crop is all I got this time. At least I didn't try to click on the message over here in the right hand bottom corner. I'm learning. Okay, so don't know what else to say about this except for my map mission with the drone was sufficient, I would say. This will work. It's just what software we use. I got a nice square. When it's rendered together, my data is good. It is offset a little there from Google Earth. You can see here's the center line of the road, and there's the center line of the road. Again, I can't explain that. There's some, either the angle of the satellite image from Google Earth or some offset problem in software. But overall, it would give anybody that owned this property a really good overview of anything they wanted to check out on their property. for my 7.5 acres, no big deal. But if somebody had 50 acres or more, wanted to kind of get a good view of it, a drone overflight might work pretty good. Other than that, I do think my drone and my drone mapping software, mission planning, as far as the drone is concerned, I've got good data. Don't need to change that much. But the Microsoft image composite editor isn't going to fly. It kind of skews the pictures around somehow. I don't know what's going on there. I'll keep looking at more free software. I don't know what this software costs yet. I'll try to figure that out. But I am really pleased with that rendering, and the other rendering from Drone Deploy was equally good. So that's the end of that for me. I don't have to do anything more with my drones, cameras. That's all figured out. It's just post-processing that I need to figure out. Post-processing of the data. So to finish up here, oops, here is the distance. So if I went down on there and I measured distance from here to here, where does that information appear? Click or tap last point to finish drawing. I did that. Where does it show me my distance? Well, I'm not going to sit on this and try to figure that out. I'm sure the distance is probably someplace, and equally you could do an area from here to here to here to here. Oops. Yeah, that just makes another point. Oh well. I'm not sure where the information, click or tap starting point to finish draw, which was my starting, here or here. Frack. There we go. Learning while I do the video. Isn't that brilliant? We'll put that one in the trash. Can we create another one? No, we have to go out, do an area. We lost this much from our rental property when the landlord moves in. And that is 2 acres. Oh, the surface area is 3.1 acres. That's interesting. And I can see that because of this hill going down from here to here. And actually, oh well. Don't need to do the boundaries again. But yes, this is the top of a hill right here. This is the bottom where the drainage ditch is. This does go up slightly to the road, but not that much. So there would be a difference. If it was perfectly flat, the area would be 2 acres and the surface area would be 2 acres. But seeing this area is not flat, the area is 2 acres, but the surface is actually 3 acres. So I can see how, armed with this data, and maybe I'll find out what Drone Deploy costs, I could just give this project to a client and they can sit here and do all of these what ifs themselves. So we'll drop that in the trash. We'll go back out just to prove that I'm starting to learn this stuff. Distance from the road to the house is, click on the beginning point. That didn't work this time. There it did. 746.5 feet. Again, because of the up and down, the surface length is 1,026.7 feet. They don't do too good on their slope grading there, and the vertical height isn't very good. This is an elevation profile Don't understand that hump in the middle. Right in here would be the lowest point as far as I'm concerned. So, still need to continue to look at some things here. Just for kicks and grins before I leave. Volume. Click to tab. Click to tab. Click the first one. So the volume of that cone is 0.58 acres. Cut. Don't understand what that is. Probably has to do with engineering. Fill. That volume. Material volume. Digital surface model. Digital terrain model. Wow. 45, 45, 45. Those change. Calculating? Yes, they did. Wow, that is interesting. I don't understand that. That probably has to do with engineering. So, that's all I want to do, taking your time on this video. But let's look at the 3D model real quick. That looks much the same as the last one. I don't think it's changed much. And what I did on this one differently from the other one was chose structures instead of terrain. When I set up this and fed it the data, it doesn't seem to have changed it. Still a post-apocalyptic house with vegetation growing all over it. The trees have vegetation growing all over them. I guess that's some of the sideways view, or I'm not sure what they did there. But it is true, they all stick up. Everything sticks up like that. So that's pretty cool. Back to the map. That's all I really want to say for this. I don't want to get too long. So this is what I did do. Created a mapper model. Selected the photos. I'm trying to get back to that switch so I can firmly tell you what the differences were. This is where I was different this time earlier. First one I selected terrain for map type, and the second one I selected structures, and I can see that changes the time. 2 hours, takes about twice as long. And structures, don't know what that means. For fields, hills, or larger terrain maps. Structures for buildings, construction sites, and complex equipment. Okay. So that's it. This was, and it doesn't seem to make any difference for my purposes because I'd actually need a different map data probably. I'm going to basically call this terrain more so than structures because there's not much structure on that 7.5 acres. So, I like it. Don't know what else to say about it, but I like it. I almost may perhaps almost have my solution. The only thing I have to do is go in and find out what the price is for this. And this is second taste of data. And go in and learn a few more of these tools. But that's on my head. That has nothing to do with drone deploy or anything anybody else is probably interested in. So I will leave it at that. Just a second of other information for my drone friends out there. I looked in here. I went down here and looked at Drone Deploy Academy. I don't know the cost of this or anything. This, I think, will answer everybody's questions on the overview of the drone mapping industry, mastering the fundamentals. Looks like they have webinars and live training. Have your Part 107 training here, and looks like a partner portal with Drone Deploy. I'll have to see what this costs. I can't find any cost anywhere so far, and I'll leave it at that.